8 to 10 miles an hour. We just had snow.
Live.
Thank you, Joseph Jenkins, our meteorologist, for the weather
Hell
update.
yeah, I have to live with this
Resident
weather right now,
Gauntlet
too.
meteorologist.
Heck yeah, I have to live with this.
Sideline Sports meteorologist Joseph Jenkins with the weather update. Welcome into another episode of the Gauntlet Picked Off, where we make our pick divisional round matchups. Who's going to make it to championship weekend? We're going to find out. I got Denzel the Sniper in the house.
Oh, that's not fair. My camera is acting up on this thing. It won't.
I got Detroit Dom down there. Lions off their first playoff win.
Here it is.
And God knows how long. Which, by the way, Dom, I was going to bring this up. I know you're not liking Eminem, but Eminem was out there representing and getting the fans hype. So Eminem was he was out there representing, man. So
absolutely, yeah. I saw a picture of him pregame. It was like Barry, Calvin Johnson, and somebody else. Can't remember who the fourth person was.
Did you see the video when he said that he rapped at the halftime
show?
Yeah.
Somebody sent that to me. Somebody sent that to me that morning. I was cracked. He was like, He's like, I rapped for you.
That was hilarious.
Can I just have this? Can we just have this one?
All right, and then we got our meteorologist JJ in there. So the Ravens and Texans taking on each other. A's versus JJ matchup. So we're gonna start with that game. The Texans pretty much smoked the Cleveland Browns. I didn't see that coming. I really thought that the Browns were going to be a dangerous team. I had the Texans winning the game, but I'm surprised. I'm very surprised by the Texans. I think most of the world is. Even if you do think the Texans were going to win, I don't think anybody predicted that. But, you know, Flacco turning the ball over, JJ kind of called it. But crazy. And then you got the Ravens, who have been phenomenal this season. Lamar's the MVP favorite. They're the number one seed. They got home field advantage. They got the playoffs. So it's a great opportunity for the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl, having the home crowd on their side and everything. So who do we want to start with? We're going to start with Denzel and his Texans. What needs to happen for the Texans to pull off an upset and make it to the AFC Championship?
Almost forgot my damn hat. Okay. Yeah. I first of all just wanted to let people know out there that if you picked the Browns to win last Saturday, I'm not mad at you, okay? But to say that the exact same result was going to happen as what happened on Christmas Eve was just utterly foolish because we were missing 3 of our key players. The pass rush was non-existent. You saw what happened on Saturday once we had Jonathan Grenard and Will Anderson Jr. back. They started getting it in. Flacco wasn't standing tall in the pocket like a statue like he was on Christmas Eve, playing pitch and catch with Amari Cooper. Speaking of which, when matched up against Derek Stingley Jr., Amari Cooper was held to 1 catch, -6 yards. So this is what happens when you have and that guy, number 7, he wasn't playing on Christmas Eve neither. And you saw what happened. So, once again, if you had them to win the Browns, that's fine. But it'd be foolish to say that they were just going to run the Texans off their own field. Now, back to this game. The Houston Texans, and, you know, me and Tyler have been trading dialogue for the last few weeks about how both of our teams are essentially playing with house money. And that's what's been going on. And just when I think, like, all right, you know what? If it gets this far, you know, and you know, I'm proud of them regardless, and then the Texans pull out a win. Like 2 weeks ago, like they were playing the Colts, and it was like, well, you know what? Regardless, we got a winning season. You know, I'm proud of them. Boom, we win. All right. We won a division. You know, we're facing the Browns again. Oh, I mean, regardless, you know, I'm proud of them. Then we win. You know, so but now we're going up against the number 1 team in the AFC in their house, a rematch from week 1. And just to let everybody know that in case they hadn't been paying attention, yes, the Ravens have been rolling, just like they have been all year long. But the Houston Texans are a much different team than in week 1. And me and JJ actually talked about the week 1 matchup, and we both agreed that in the week 1 matchup, the Texans were actually in the game until the 4th quarter. We just couldn't find the end zone. You know, we lost 25-9.
True.
They scored a running touchdown to kind of seal the victory. You know, I think it was like in the middle of the quarter. But they scored and put it out of reach. But the Texans were in that game for all 4 quarters. You know, so or to a midway in the fourth quarter. So I know it remains to be seen. I do know one thing is that we have to get the pass rush going, just like we did on. I know Flacco is not Lamar Jackson or anything like that, but we do have to get the pass rush going. We also have to stop the run. It's pretty hard to run on the Texans unless you're Jonathan Taylor, but it's pretty hard to run on the Texans. And we just got to play our brand of football. Young, hungry Bulls, you know. The defense that happened, the swarm that happened on last Saturday, and I'm not saying back-to-back pick sixes. I'm not calling that, but if we had it, it'd be really nice. But that's the defense that needs to show up. Stroud also come out there, make plays, get Motor Singletary going, get one of our receivers going. We're going to be without Noah Brown, so Robert Woods got to step it up. Dalton Schultz definitely going to have to step it up. And I actually foresee a back-and-forth ball game. I'm going to take the Texans in a field goal in this one. I'm going to say 27-24. It's probably going to come down to Fairbairn from downtown and send us to our first AFC Championship game.
All right, so that's Jay's pick. He's got the Texans winning 27-24. We're going to go to JJ, the Ravens representative for us. JJ, you got the number 1 seed. You're playing at home. Lamar wants to come out and make a statement. What do the Ravens got to do to take care of business?
I think when you ask that question, first shout out to Jay. Love his gall to go with his team as he could. Why shouldn't you? Your team is rolling, doing a dang thing. Had a good win against the number 1 defense and the team that everybody thought was going to make a difference, and here they are. But to this game, your question is exactly what Kyle had said on Good Morning. The game starts at 4:30. It doesn't start at 4:45. Doesn't start at 5. It starts at 4:30. If you want to win this game, you need to come out and you need to come out firing. I love Houston. I mean, no disrespect, but if we are the team that we think we are, we do need to get on top by at least 2 scores in this first quarter, because that's the type of team we know we can be. That's the type of team we know we have been in the recent weeks. And the 4 playoff games that Lamar Jackson and his offense have played in the first quarter, they have amounted to 0 points. That cannot happen this time. And much like Jay had mentioned, both teams are different. This offense, from what I remember from that first game, was trying some of the things that they're now connecting on this time. So that's a nice little development to see how that's going to transpire against this team. What I do expect is, I tell my Ravens, y'all need to be ready for trick plays, and I need to be ready for no punting or going for it on 4th down. D'Amico Ryans and his team have an opportunity to know they get a chance to get to an AFC Championship game, which ironically, they're playing a team who had a quarterback in the same situation beat an AFC South opponent to go to the AFC Championship game, although it wasn't Houston at the time, it was Tennessee. Flacco did it. Same type of situation, but I'm rolling with my team because I believe in this team. I believe in everything about them. I will say the biggest change that does give this team a little bit of a chance, a better chance, is Greg Roman's not calling the plays. You don't know what to expect when it comes to this team. And the big factor that actually needs to be added in that has been kind of a thing for Lamar all season, he's not putting up the yards, but he's making the plays because he's allowed to make checks audible. He's allowed to do what he wants to do, and we're seeing that he kind of knows what he's doing, making the right play. I think Houston's going to be ready for it. They're going to be in this game. But ultimately, I got the Ravens winning this 35-24. And I think the Ravens are going to have a very good game. And I think they're really going to come out and show the world that they believe in this team. And this team is destined for what we think and what we all want to say, but we can't say right now what we think can actually happen. So I got the Ravens winning the game 35-24.
Dom, what do you got?
I think Jay made a very good point in reference to his conversation with Tyler. It's kind of been my theme for these whole playoffs so far this year, and that is the phrase house money. When you come out there, when you make the playoffs and no one even expected you to make the playoffs, that makes you a very dangerous team. Ask the Dallas Cowboys about that. Yeah, that was a layup, but, I had to take my shot. I did not. I don't think anyone, even Jay, I don't think any of us expected the Texans to get past Cleveland. And that's the thing. Like, once you get into a situation like that, no one expected you to even be in the dance to start with. And then you actually got to dance with the hot girl. And then you asked her to dance again and she said yes again. Like, you thought maybe she was pitying you. And now here they are, one step away from an AFC title game. Much as I'd like to see, I don't know. I'm real conflicted on this because by no means is Baltimore overlooking Houston. That would be foolish for them to do, and I know they're not doing that. They're very familiar with this team. They played them earlier in the year, and they know what this team can do. They sat there from their week one bye couches and saw what they did to Cleveland. They ran them off the damn field. I don't think that's going to happen this week. I really don't know who to pick. I'm going to shoot from the hip. Sorry, JJ. I'm going Texans, 27-24.
Same score as Jay.
I do not trust Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. He's had limited success. This is definitely a different team, a different rated team. And I've definitely seen Lamar Jackson mature as a quarterback, as a leader. But I'm still just I can't even say why. I'm just picking the Texans.
Okay, before I make my pick, JJ, would you like to respond to what Dom just said?
I was actually going to wait till the end to see if everybody had other new thoughts before I would even.
Okay. So you want me to just go ahead and make my pick then?
Yeah, I wanted you to get your piece out for sure.
Okay. So this is going to be a good game. I think that in the end, the Ravens are going to end up winning. But this is what I want to see. To JJ's point about the offense starting off fast, I also think that's something that needs to happen. And to Dom's point about Lamar, yes, Lamar has struggled in the playoffs. He's 1-3 in the playoffs. He's got 900 yards passing in those couple of games. He's got like 3 touchdowns and 5 picks. So that's just not good enough, man. Like, you're the MVP of the league. Everyone's looking at you saying that you're the guy. So I think that Lamar is going to come out and set the temperature in the room and show everyone why he is the guy. So I think a couple of good drives to start off the game, get out to a good lead. Texans are going to take their shots, and they're not going to go. They're going to go down swinging, but I think it's going to finish 31-23. Baltimore Ravens to the AFC Championship to most likely, I think, host the Buffalo Bills. But we'll talk about that later. So I got the Ravens 31-23.
All right, so we're split 2-2. All right, next. JJ, your final take on this?
Did you have one? You know, if you had one, you can go ahead and I'll go after you.
No. I was good. I said everything I needed, but you said you were going to respond to James and Dom.
More so, Dom. I do. You know what? He makes really great points. At the end of the day, the team has struggled. The team is playing another team that is riding high, that came out of nowhere, has a great young quarterback, and they're playing with house money. What's interesting about that is that was the 2019 Tennessee Titans. And so if you know what to expect against a team that is in the same situation, are you going to learn from your mistakes before, or are you going to sit there and let it happen again? This is the first time since then where the Ravens are in the same situation. Number 1 seed, home playoff game against a charging team who I believe at the same time won the AFC South between Tennessee that year too. So it's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And if I had to survey the coaches in the game right now in the playoffs, who do I think is going to be the best prepared for that? That's where I give it to Andy Reid and John Harbaugh. Because why? They've done it before. They know what these playoffs bring. They know what they need to see from their quarterback. And Lamar, I think, is in year 6. Right? Yes, year 6. The last time our quarterback was in year 6, he won the Super Bowl. And that was Joe Flacco in his year of 2012, that season. I'm not going with suspicion, but it's something funny as well. 12 years ago was the last time the Ravens were in the Super Bowl. 12 years before that was the time the Ravens were in the Super Bowl. So it's going to be very interesting to play, but I think That's just a little tidbit, little tangent I just went on. But to Don's point, it's just, they know what to expect, so we're going to see what's going to happen.
All right. So I got the Ravens. JJ's obviously got the Ravens. Dom and Jay going with the Texans in the upset. Next, we have the Green Bay Packers taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Packers. Shout out to Tyler Ingram, who was with us last week on the Pick'em Show.
He called it.
He pretty much said, look, no one is even talking about the Packers right now. And he was right. No one expected him to do anything. And the Packers pretty much came out and smoked the Cowboys. It was an awful performance by Dallas. It was a terrible performance by Dak. But we'll probably talk more on Friday about all that
Horrible
stuff.
Performance by Micah Parsons.
But horrible performance by the team. But a good performance, even a great performance by Jordan Love. He was amazing. The way that he was engineering this offense. So I think Green Bay's got to feel really good about themselves, even though they're going to face a very strong San Francisco team. So I will kick it to Jay to start this off. Jay, what do you think is going to happen? Is the hot streak of Green Bay going to keep going, or are they going to just run into a wall with San Francisco?
Fun fact. So last week versus the Browns, CJ Stroud's stat line, 16 of 21 for 274, 3 touchdown passes, 157.2 passer rating. Jordan Love versus the Cowboys, 16 of 21, 272 yards, 3 touchdown passes, 157.2 passer rating. I mean, both of them just a few hairs away, a hair or two away from like a perfect game. Thank you to Jordan Love, Tyler Ingram, and Pack Nation for shutting those obnoxious Cowboy fans up.
Yeah.
And, with this being said,
I've been a Packers fan all my life.
The Packers are another team that's kind of riding high right now. And people would think, they're giving them a chance to, beat the 49ers because they beat the Cowboys. I'm not going to go that far because everyone beats the Cowboys in the playoffs. But that's neither here nor there. I'm giving the Packers a shot because I'm giving the Packers a chance because of Jordan Love and how he did. Aaron Jones went ballistic last week. Romeo Dubes was running free all over the field, as well as I can't think of his name, the tight end that they have number 88. Defense got in there and made plays. They just played a flawless game last week.
Aaron Jones had 3 rushing touchdowns.
Aaron Jones absolutely owns the Cowboys.
He has a field day, and get this, he had 3 rushing touchdowns last Sunday. He had 2 during the whole regular season. So, but with that being said, my pick's got to be the 49ers. They're just too strong. They're just too strong with Brock Purdy, a healthy Devo, George Kittle, that defense, and not only that, but the 49ers just historically have their number in the postseason. If it was playing anybody else, I would pick the Pack, but they ran into San Francisco again. So I'm going to say 49ers. But you know what? Here's the deal. I'm going to say 49ers 27-21. I think Jordan Love is going to slug it out with Brock Purdy. He may have himself another game again, but in the end, I think it's going to come down. It may even come down to a game-winning drive for all we know. But I'm going to pick the 49ers by 6 points in this one. I do like that spread. But, yeah, I'll take the 49ers. Much respect to the Pack, though.
49ers versus Packers. Is it even possible that the Packers could do something crazy and go to the NFC Championship? What do you think?
What it's going to take is a mistake from the 49ers. So you remember whenever Garoppolo was quarterbacking and there was the ill-fated interception? It may have to take that for the Packers to win.
Can I just say, I think before you go. Actually, no, Dom, you go ahead. Oh, wait.
I'll keep it real short and sweet. Basically, Jay summed the whole matchup perfectly. If it was anyone but the 49ers, I might be a little bit more inclined to pick the Packers. There is our whole the whole well-traveled house money thing, but this isn't the Cowboys. This is the 49ers. The 49ers own the Packers. It's been a great story. Jordan Love has definitely proved me wrong. I think Green Bay once again has found themselves a franchise quarterback. I like their young receivers, but I just don't think they have enough. Like, the Niners, for about 15 to the 18 weeks this season, looked like the best team in the NFC, and they do once again. Might be a close game. I'm thinking maybe kind of low scoring. I'm saying 49ers 24, Packer 24-20, 49ers. Go ahead, JJ.
I think it's funny because both of you guys' responses was the exact same thing you said last game we were talking about. But instead of going with the better team in y'all opinion, y'all went the opposite. Y'all went with the underdog. So for that, I find it interesting because it's like team house money, dominant team that, based off of record, hasn't won a Super Bowl either. They have underachieved. Brock Purdy's an unknown, but we're willing to give that more faith than a quarterback that, even though he has a bad record, still won a playoff game. That was just interesting to listen to you guys say that, because I'm like, that's the same thing y'all said last game. But so for that fact, I actually want to take the Packers over the 49ers because I don't know what to expect from either quarterback, but I will say I think Jordan Love has a higher upside than where Brock Purdy is, and I think that the Green Bay team, their defense is coming together, and I got to give a shout out to Tyler on this one because everything about last game he called 1,000% correct. He said they were going to dominate, and he said Aaron Jones was going to go off, and he did. I think the 49ers are a good team. I think they're a very good team. But I do know that they can be beat because, we beat them. And I think knowing how that can happen, I give them a chance because Green Bay's offense is just clicking. And I'm not so sure about Brock Purdy yet. And I'm going to take Jordan Love in this one. But I just thought that was a very interesting little dynamic.
You're picking the Green Bay Packers to go to the NFC Championship. Wow, I didn't see that.
For the record, I'm not entirely sure about Brock Purdy either.
Well, you know what? I'll say this. The 49ers are in the same situation the Cowboys were. You can say that they're not the Cowboys. They're not going to choke.
That's the Ravens.
You can say that, but that's fine. But at the end of the day, the Packers are in the same situation. Nobody thinks the Packers are going to do anything. They don't think they're going to come in here and beat the 49ers. So the Packers are dangerous because they can just go out there and just play regular football. They don't have like all this stuff around that you see these other teams have. So they don't got to deal with that aspect of the game. So that's why Green Bay becomes very dangerous. In the end, there's a lot of pressure on San Francisco in this game. And I don't think Green Bay is going to roll over. I still pick the 49ers to win. I think it'll be a close game. It's going to be 27-29ers. So when you're looking at that line, 8, I would not take it. I think 49ers win by a touchdown. But if they don't, then that's when the questions is going to have to come and say, was this 49ers team for real or not? We're going to have to see, man. But that's the beauty of playoff football. But do I think Green Bay is going to roll over and take it? Absolutely not. No way.
No. And you know what? And I think, because to JJ's point, when he was saying how we said the same things about the last game as this one, but yet we picked opposites. Again, if the Packers were playing anyone else but the 49ers, I would pick the Packers. Somehow, I don't care what year it is or who's quarterback, the Niners find a way to get the Packers in the playoffs. So I'm going by history. I'm sorry.
But what's interesting is that the same thing could be said about our dynamic. We've beat you guys in the playoffs. We've taken you guys. The 49ers haven't done anything. They haven't won anything, same as the Ravens. So when you say that it's any other team, personally, from listening to you guys and actually assessing it, I'm like, what makes them any other team? They've been shown they could be beat. And they've lost games that they should have won too.
I mean, no one finished the season undefeated, so we all can be beat.
Yeah.
No, but my thing is, the Rams and the Pack and the Mahomes have won a Super Bowl, and Mahomes and them beat them. Like, they haven't won a Super Bowl either. So what makes them this different team based off of what I'm hearing everybody talk about? Because I'm just like, but
So
It just
let me
breaks
ask-
your heart that we
let me
didn't
ask
all
this
pick the
question.
Raiders.
I want to ask the panel a question. Which team has the best chance of having an upset? The Texans or the Packers?
I think the Packers. Personally, I think the Packers just because I think there's a lot more at stake for Baltimore to handle business than San Francisco. I think even with everybody just saying all these amazing things about Green Bay, they still went San Francisco. You know what I mean? Like, they still are considered this great team. So they might actually think, we got this. There's more at stake for Baltimore, which is why I think the Packers are liable for an upset. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I think Baltimore is going to do very well and handle business because of how much they believe in themselves and they know what is at stake. San Francisco, they may coast. They made it to the NFC Championship game last year. They may think like, all right, we know this guy, we respect him, but we still are who we are because everybody thinks who we are. We might coast. I just think they're on more of an upset alert than the Raiders.
Interesting. I will have to disagree, though. I think the Texans have a better chance to upset than the Packers because of the way that CJ is playing, and that team they really look like they believe. They really look dangerous. So I think I would have to say the Texans.
So my question to you is it more because of the Texans themselves or the team they're playing? Because when you look at comparisons, Jordan Love's statistics at the end of the year are just the same as CJ Stroud. So when I ask, I'm like, is it more about who they are or who they're facing?
I don't know. I don't really know because I think that the 49ers and the Ravens are the two best teams in the NFL. And for the 49ers, I can't see them losing because you have all this talent and you're so stacked on both sides of the ball. So this is the year for them. Like, if they don't make it to at least make it to the Super Bowl, then when are they going to make it back to the Super Bowl and potentially win it? So that's where I'm at.
Guys, final question for you guys. You just said that, you don't see them losing. Why do you see the Ravens losing? Honest opinion. Hold on. Let me preface this because I think I know where it really is, but maybe you guys, I want y'all to just be real with it. And that's okay because you're my boys. Why do you think the Ravens could lose at home in the same situation?
Jesus, I'll change my pick if you just shut the fuck up about it.
Right. I like Jordan.
Hold on. It's not even about changing a pick. I'm really just it's a nice conversation, and I was just trying to talk to my boys just to see it, just because I understand it. I don't care if you pick the other team. I don't care about any of that. I'm doing it to understand because it's interesting to me listening to you guys. That's all.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The best way I can say it is this.
Yeah.
I like Jordan Love. I still don't love him. No pun intended. I trust CJ Stroud more than I trust Jordan Love. That's really what it comes down to for me.
That's the same reason for me.
So you guys trust CJ Stroud more? Okay.
Stroud's been literally like every other week he's like broken some sort of record.
Some people think that CJ is already a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, even right now.
Jordan Love had a hell of a season.
Yes, he did.
Like, take nothing away from that man. I also think the 49ers have more at stake.
Yeah.
CJ, but I think that's what we have time for this, so we're going to move on to our next game. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Detroit Lions. Listen, when it comes to the Eagles, I knew it was going to happen. I was a little bit surprised by how much this team gave up. So there's going to be changes coming in the offseason for sure. But Detroit did what they had to do and took care of business at home against Matthew Stafford and the Rams. It was a great game, and the Lions ended up winning. So I got to be real. The Lions got this. I'm just going to go ahead and make my pick. The Lions. I think the Rams had a much, much better chance of beating them than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit wins this by a couple of scores. I think that they're going to try to blitz a lot, but the Detroit Lions has the better personnel of handling the blitz and handling the pressure that Todd Bowles is going to throw at them. They have a great offensive line. They have Jahmyr Gibbs throwing the ball out of the backfield. St. Brown's going to make plays. Laporta throw the ball in the middle of the field, and these guys are going to make plays. It doesn't matter if you send all these guys on a blitz. I think it's just going to come down to that, and that's why the Lions are going to win. But Dom, what about you? What do you see your team doing on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm not going to be cocky whatsoever, but I am pretty confident. I feel a lot better picking us to win this week than I did last week. We already beat the Buccaneers once this year by 2 scores. We stopped Baker Mayfield from throwing a touchdown. We were also a lot less healthy. We won that game 20-6. I don't see us holding them to that few points this week, but I also see us scoring more. I'm not saying it's going to be any sort of blowout, but I don't think it will be particularly close. I'm thinking like something nice and round, like 28-14. We're riding high, and now is not the time for this train to stop moving. And like I said, I'm not even trying to look past them or say, oh, we're in the NFC title game. We got to handle business. But like I said, I feel a lot better going into this game than I did going into the last game. I'm a little disappointed that it's not in primetime because I love primetime golf. But I also don't want to stay up until, 1 o'clock in the morning, seeing the end of the game and then celebrating. So come 3 o'clock, Tampa, let's get it.
All right. So, Jay, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I agree. I think this train doesn't stop rolling. It does stop rolling for the Bucs, though. Great season. I mean, you won a bad division, but you won a playoff game. I think it's safe to say that Mayfield earned his keep on there, and he'll probably get his extension. He earned it. I'm actually glad for him. Things didn't work out in Cleveland. Yeah, things didn't work out in Cleveland. It came to Deshaun Watson. He went to Carolina. It was a dumpster fire. I'm not going to hold that against him. Then he goes to the Rams, ironically. Led a game-winning drive in like his first game there. He got there I think 2 days prior and barely learned the playbook. And then now he's in Tampa. And he's the leader of that team. But the Lions are just too much. They're just too much, and they're most definitely feeling themselves. I agree. Don't get too cocky or anything like that. I'm actually going to say Lions 30-21. St. Brown, don't be surprised if he has himself a great game. And Goffins just leads that offense and does what he needs to do. You'll probably see Dan Campbell go for it twice on 4th down, which is par for the course, He'll probably go 2 for 2 on 4th down. And, yeah, the Lions, they go straight to the NFC Championship game. The Lions had the easiest path just by the Cowboys losing, So, for any team not named San Francisco, in my opinion. But yeah, Lions.
I think Detroit would have still beat the Cowboys if they had to play against them. So that's just me.
Yeah.
AJ, who you got winning this game?
I have got the Lions winning this game because I definitely think they are a better team. And it's now or never at the end of the day. I think this is their best chance to get into a Super Bowl, which would be really good for the city and really good for Detroit as a whole because in NFL history, they're a very rich and important team. You can't tell the history of the NFL without mentioning them in some regard. But, Tampa Bay, they're a decent team. They're scrappy. They do the thing. And they have a good chance, but, Detroit is better. Detroit, just continue what you're doing. And I think that they're going to get now that spread, what is it? I can't see it right now.
A touchdown.
7.
That touchdown.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that.
I would too. I think it's a safe bet.
I'll take that. Because, Dan Campbell know what he wants. And they have, my dad is a big Detroit Lions fan because he likes Campbell. I'll take that. I get that.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the main event. Another matchup of the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. What is going to be the result of this one? And I did see someone make a comment about this game saying, wouldn't it be the most ironic thing if the game went to overtime and the Bills score a touchdown on the first possession, Chiefs get the ball in the second position, score a touchdown, and then win on the 2-point conversion after the Buffalo Bills complained about the rules in overtime? Oh
Is
man,
this not like
that would be beautiful, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think the Bills are gonna actually get one. They're playing at home. I was watching the game last week between the Steelers and the Bills, and that place was absolutely rocking. The Buffalo Bills fans are crazy. It's a crazy place to go play in January. And Patrick Mahomes' first road playoff game that is not a Super Bowl for his entire career. I think that the Bills are on a mission, and they've been on fire ever since they lost that game in overtime to the Eagles. They haven't lost the game since then. They stormed back to win the AFC East. Nobody thought they were going to do that. The Bills are here, and they're serious. And I think this team looks like a team that could actually go out and win the Super Bowl. I'm picking the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, give me the Bills. So, the Buffalo Bills have a James Cook. The Chiefs have a Kadarius Toney.
The Chiefs have a Isaiah Pacheco.
They do. They have Pacheco.
Let's put some respect on his name.
Oh, no. They got an Isaiah Pacheco. But they still got Toney. The Bills have a Gabe Davis. The Chiefs, while they have a Rashee Rice, they also have a Toney. The Bills have a Stephon Diggs. And the Chiefs have a Toney.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Do you think it's going to be the same ending as last time?
A man with stone hands with Crisco on him. I'll tell you this much. As long as 15 don't throw him the ball, they'll have a chance. I got the Bills in this one. I think they're motivated. I think that because the Chiefs got them the last, 2 times in the postseason, especially that classic shootout where 13 seconds was too much time for Patrick Mahomes. Still one of the top 5 playoff games in the last 5 years, easily. But I got the Bills in this one. The Bills are going to roll. The Chiefs is not the same. This is not the same offense as been in recent years past. That crowd is going to give it to Mahomes. They're going to give it to him. Now, I don't expect them to exactly be rattled. I just expect the Bills to make the plays necessary to get the job done. I'm not saying the Chiefs are going to get thumped. I got the Bills by 10. I'm going to save it because generally if you hold Mahomes to under 30 points, you got a great shot to win. But I'll say Bills 31-24. That sounds fair. Dom?
Yeah, I'll echo the sentiment. I've kind of had the sneaking feeling for most of the season that the Chiefs would not be going back to defend their Super Bowl title, and it never seems more evident than it does right now. Like James said, first road game for Mahomes that isn't a Super Bowl, and there's just, granted, you wouldn't know it necessarily from the weather that we saw last week in those 2 cities, but playing in Arrowhead versus playing in Buffalo are 2 very, very different things. And it's crazy because for most or damn near all of the year, and I think honestly the thing that has gotten them as far as it did has been that Chiefs defense. Normally we don't see the Chiefs defense playing as well as it has all year until around week 15 or so. That defense has been a pretty well-oiled machine all year, and I think part of the reason is because it's had to be because of their pathetic receiving core. They've had to find ways to win other than blowing people out. Yeah, and like JJ said about Detroit, although I don't necessarily echo the sentiment of now or never for Detroit because we're just getting started. The Bills, now is your chance. You don't have to get past Cincinnati. They didn't even make it. KC looks beatable. I mean, if they do win again, that'd be a hell of a matchup in the AFC title game. Whoever it is, the Bills should win this game. They need to win this game. I think it should be pretty close. I'm thinking 28-23. But yeah, if they don't win this, they've got no one to look at but themselves because this is a winnable game. It's at home. So yeah, Bills.
Is this not Naruto and Sasuke? Is this not Naruto and Sasuke? James, just because you have 2 guys that are actually really been competing against each other since they both entered the league, and they've had some great battles. Do we think this is a really great opportunity for Buffalo to get it done? But what I do say that I think I give Kansas City a chance in is the fact that they know what they need to do to win games. Take out the weather. Buffalo used to the weather, so the weather is not going to be a problem at all. But I think Pacheco is going to be a huge difference maker in this game just because he can affect you in multiple ways. And we know how the Buffalo Bills like to play defense. They like to keep everything in front of you. Run it down their throat. Pacheco has shown the ability to carry these loads for this team. And when he gets it going, it makes it easier for other guys to get involved, like a Rasheed Rice, who's becoming a favorite target of Patrick Mahomes. I do like the Buffalo Bills. The only thing that bothers me about them is that I don't trust them in the ability to continue to run the football. I just don't, because I think in certain games, their head coach wants to show that their quarterback is just like the other quarterback and abandon a scheme that actually can really help you win this game. And so for that fact, I'm going to go with Andy Reid, and I think Kansas City is going to set themselves up for a showdown for Baltimore in Baltimore among two quarterbacks.
All right. So I got the Bills. Jay got the Bills. Dom got the Bills. And JJ is lone wolfing.
Lone wolfing with the
Lone wolfing on the
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Crazy. But I am excited for the division round and see who's going to make it to the AFC Championship. We'll have more content for you guys this Friday. I'm going to get the top of the list ready when we get off of here. And then, we'll have all kinds of stuff to talk about. So tune in Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, part of the NGBN TV network. And stay tuned for the Sneak Peek launch. Download the mobile app. That's going to be launching on the 29th. And a whole bunch of other stuff that we got in the works. Also, follow us on Facebook. Gauntlet Sports Media on Facebook. Gauntlet Sports Media on Instagram to keep up with us. Till next time, guys. We'll see you here on the Gauntlet.